This is Barbara Mode, and this is my video journal on regression model analysis using one predictor. I wanted to review last week's correlation analysis because I'm using that data to create my regression model today. Last week, I used 11th and 12th graders only, comparing or correlating their biology to their English 1 scores. My null hypothesis would have been that there's no correlation between the two. My predictor in today's regression analysis would be biology. Does the biology score predict the outcome of the English 1 score? Last week, as you can see here, I had some outliers. I had 4 outliers, 2 here and 2 here. And so I have them highlighted over to the left. Today, I'm going to go ahead and clean up my data set and take those out and see how that affects my correlation and then on into my regression analysis. Last week, my correlation was 0.623 or 0.624. And that would have landed right here where this purple line is. Not far enough out to be in the rare zone of my Pearson R, which was 0.195 based upon an alpha of 0.05. And so you can see here, last week I accepted my null hypothesis that there's really no correlation between biology and English 1 scores. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back over to my new model, my regression model. This is the one that I've cleaned up, and I have removed those 4 outliers. Right here, I have pulled in my chart, created a chart, and this is so you can see my trend line, which is that orange line there, and I'm using my predictor or my X of biology and the criterion of English 1 or the Y value. I can see right up here I should have a 0 or a y-intercept of 10.9, which you can see right here. If some of this data kept coming in, that should be my y-intercept. And then my r-squared value of 0.5428. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to run my coral. And I'm going to use my X and my Y. And let me go ahead. Whoops. So my first array is going to be the X. Okay. Not sure. Oh, I think I got some of my header in there. And then the array 2 is going to be my Y value, my criterion, for my English 1. And so here I have a correlation value of, really, if I made that into 2 decimals, which I'd like to do, about 0.74. Okay, so that's my correlation value. Next thing I'm going to do is put in my slope. And I can tell from my correlation, it's a positive correlation, so it's going to have a positive slope. I also want to do my intercept. So I already know what the slope is, but I'm going to get the Excel to do it for me. And, whoops, let's try that again. And this time I'm going to put my Y in first because Y over X is your slope. That's your rise. Okay. And then my X is going to be this data set right here. So I have a slope of 0.92 and a y-intercept, which that actually matches what I got before. Always good to check. Again, I'm going to put my y's in first, then my x's. That's my new puppy crying at my feet. She doesn't want to be without me. Let's make sure that looks good. And it does. And so there's my y-intercept. So you can see, looking at this, that my correlation value is actually much stronger than it was last time when I had all of those outliers. So I have a pretty good relationship, prediction between biology and English scores. And so based upon what I had just reviewed, I have a very, what I consider a strong 0.74 correlation between using biology to predict what a student will score on their English 1 exam. And this is all due to the fact that I took out those outliers, only had a 62.62 last time of a correlation value. So this is much stronger just by taking out those 4 outliers from the previous data set. And that's all, folks.